What is happening, guys? Welcome to a first for Firing Blanks, a non-stream video. So go easy on me, click like, subscribe if you want even. I don't really know how to do these things. Let's just get into it. Captain strategy. Now this morning I read an amazing article from Jumpers for Goalposts. You can find the link in the description. In it, they interviewed the second highest captaincy score manager last year, and he talks all about his decision making when looking at captaincies. It's a really good article, and I recommend you guys read it. In the article, he talks about picking the best captaincy based on the fixtures. If they've got a juicy home fixture and the team that they're playing isn't very good defensively, then he'll pick that player. Now that seems very obvious, but he also goes into how captaincy really defines his plans for transfers going into the next couple of games. So what he'll do is he'll look to see what the best captaincy is for each game week. He goes on to talk about bringing in Aguero when everyone else was getting Vardy, or even captaining Hudson-Odoi when Man City were playing Liverpool and Chelsea had a relatively easy fixture. So I thought what we could do is take this into practice and go through every team and see whether they're a decent team defensively or a team that we can captain against. So it means you guys at home can have a better understanding of the best captaincy to pick for each game week. So let's get started. So first up we have Arsenal. Now we all know about David Luiz and his absolutely ridiculous red card antics. But that aside, let's see if they were as bad at defense as we all think they were. Over the course of 38 games, they conceded 553 shots, which equal to 48 goals and 10 clean sheets throughout the season. Now that's not bad. It's not great though. Obviously Arsenal can be put under the top 6 side, but they still have a lot of defensive stuff to get right. They brought Saliba back from loan. Tierney seems to be fit and raring to go, so I wouldn't count them out in any defensive scrap. However, I wouldn't count them out for losing a ridiculously easy clean sheet because of a silly goal. So I'm going to put them under a maybe. I don't think it would be the worst captaincy in the world for the likes of Salah, but I also think there might be better fixtures about. Now using an amazing graphics technique, I'm going to add maybe beside Arsenal. Perfect. Moving on, we've got Aston Villa. I think it's fair to say that they're not that great defensively. So let's just not even waste any time. Let's chalk them up under yes. You can captain a player against Aston Villa. Next up, we've got Brighton. Now, Brighton actually have a decent history at defense, but their last season saw them slip a little bit. However, despite that slip, they did get 9 clean sheets, which is 1 less than Arsenal, and they conceded almost 60 shots less than Arsenal. Not bad, especially considering you could probably get a lot of their defense on the cheap. Ryan, for example, 4.5, a belter. So I think I would probably say no. I don't really want to be captaining a Brighton player. Next up, Burnley. There is a reason why Pope is worth 5.5 million this season. Obviously, Burnley know how to set up defensively. They're not the type of team that are going to go out and attack from the offset, win 4-5-0. And despite City's record of winning 5-0 against them, they usually tend to keep clean sheets. They kept 15 clean sheets last season, which is the exact same as Liverpool and 2 less than Man City. Clearly, this is a team we do not want to be captaining a player against. No. Chelsea next. No one more than me recognises how rubbish Chelsea were last season. I will never forgive you, Zuma. Never. Let's just go ahead and skip everything and say that they have done some fantastic transfer business this season. They brought in Thiago in defence, they brought in Chilwell, Reece James seems to be coming up. However, the one player they still have, and they haven't, at time of recording this, they haven't sorted, is Kepa. So I'm going to say that Chelsea's actually still an okay team to captain against, but we haven't seen the new team work. So let's put them under a maybe. Crystal Palace has had a lot of history of keeping clean sheets when you don't want them to. For some reason, in the last couple of seasons, they've been particularly good at setting up defensively. However, they did lose Wan-Bissaka last season, and towards the end of the season, they lost Van Aanholt. So I don't think I would mind captaining against Crystal Palace, but I probably wouldn't make it a habit. We're still to see some of their new signings in place. We're also expected Van Aanholt to be back at some stage, but potentially until he gets back, they're vulnerable. To be honest though, they did keep 10 clean sheets last season, so maybe we should give them a little bit of respect and put them under a maybe as well. Let's just do that. Maybe. Everton next. 9 clean sheets, 427 shots conceded, but unfortunately, they are just not cutting it. For whatever reason, when you least expect it, they concede. There's not many players I would want from their defence. They've got a few cheap belters, and Dean is a very attacking footballer. However, I wouldn't put money on Everton to keep a clean sheet no matter what team they're playing, and unfortunately for that reason, I'm out. You can captain against them. Fulham next. I think it's safe to say that I don't know enough about any of the promoted teams to be able to tell you yes or no or maybe on them. I think you could probably captain against them. I remember Fulham in the Premier League. They weren't that good, but I don't know enough about it. So let's just say yes. Let's just say yes, and someone can correct me. Yes, you can captain against Fulham. And let's just save time actually and go ahead and say yes to Leeds and say yes to West Brom. I don't know enough about them, but they're promoted sides and they're going to have to prove me wrong. Now, obviously that's probably going to happen. I don't forget the fact that last season Sheffield United were pretty good, but I just don't know enough about them to be able to say one way or the other. So I know I don't want to paint them with the same brush, but until I see clean sheets, you can captain against them. Leicester City's a weird one. They do have a decent streak in them where they can keep a clean sheet. Schmeichel got so many decent save points and clean sheets for quite a few game weeks last season. However, overall, the fact that they've lost Chilwell, they've lost a few other players to injury, and we're all looking to bring some players in that they've got that are 4 million to 4.5 million, kind of paints the picture that we don't want to see, which is Leicester don't really have that good of a defence. Which means for us, a captaincy against them actually might do some good. The stats for Leicester last season is they kept 13 clean sheets, and that's what I was talking about with that streak. However, towards the end of the season, they just didn't look hot, and I don't know how difficult it's going to be without Chilwell or Pereira at the start of the season. So let's put them at a maybe slash yes. How about? I like that. Maybe slash yes. You can probably captain against them, but if there are better options, then maybe look elsewhere. Liverpool next. I'm just going to say no. Probably not. Manchester City. Probably not. Manchester United. Probably not. Boom. Alright, coming up to Newcastle. This one's quite funny. So, Lascelles was injured for quite a long time last season, and that's fair enough. Their pre-season hasn't looked great, but you know what? You can't really take pre-season for granted. Despite that, I'm pretty sure I heard that they played a game and it was so bad that they actually deleted all mention of it on their social media. And I think Lascelles got a red card and it was like 7-0. However, you know, maybe they only conceded a lot of those goals when they were playing a team that was far from their best 11. So yeah, pinch of salt on that one. But let's face it, Newcastle aren't a team that you should be scared to captain against. So let's just go ahead and say yes. Sheffield United impressed last season. They had some absolute belters that you could probably pick throughout the season. They had an amazing keeper, and I'm sure they're going to keep that dynamic going forward into next season. They did lose Henderson to Manchester United. That's fair enough, but I'm not going to be captain against them until Sheffield United show me that actually it was all Henderson. I do know that they had really decent shot stopping last season. Henderson did a lot to keep them out, but Ramsdale is a decent keeper, and I think with some decent defensive assets in front of him, he'll be able to keep more clean sheets than he was prepared to do last season. The less we talk about Bournemouth, the better. But yeah, in this case, Sheffield United, an easy no. We don't cap against Sheffield United. Southampton's a weird one. At the start of the season, I would have said absolutely. But towards the end of the season, Hasenhüttl actually set them up very defensively. He was pressing all the time, very high intensity. They kept a lot more clean sheets than I thought they would towards the end of the season. The stats after the restart are looking pretty good for Southampton. They were 7th best for shots conceded with only 98. They kept 3 clean sheets and they only conceded 8 goals. That is pretty decent. So I think it's fair to say that Southampton are a team you don't want to be captaining your players against. So I'm going to sit a wee no in there. Easy peasy. Tottenham next, a very easy one. I know Tottenham can be an attacking team, but Mourinho is a very defensive manager and I just don't trust to captain any player against a team that he's managing. So it's a no from me. Alright, second last one, we've got West Ham. Now, although West Ham were looking really good in the restart, defensively they weren't so hot. They only kept 1 clean sheet from game week 30 to game week 38. Antonio was doing the business up front, but no one was doing the business at the back. I don't expect West Ham to stay defensively against any team, let alone teams that you would want to have a captaining player from, like Liverpool or even Chelsea. We all remember that amazing West Ham win over Chelsea during the restart. So yeah, West Ham, an attacking team, which is great for our attacking players. So I'm going to say yes to West Ham. You can absolutely captain your players against them. Last but not least, Wolves. Now, they had one of the best records last season, but how did they do in the restart? Pretty good. 5 clean sheets out of 9 games, and they had just 70 shots conceded, which is 3rd best behind Liverpool and Man City. Absolutely amazing. Now, they've lost Doherty, but let's not forget, Doherty is an attacking player. He spent way more time in the other team's box than his own, so I don't think that's a big deal. Easiest ever, no. We do not captain against Wolves. No. So there you have it, 20 teams, the best and worst to captain against. Now obviously the transfer window's not done, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that. But yeah, hopefully my graphic, my amazing notebook graphic, will have already put all those teams in order. Let's have a look. Yes, awesome. So there you go, Aston Villa, Everton, Fulham, Leeds, Newcastle, West Brom, West Ham, all good for captaining against. Leicester is a maybe and yes, the rest of them probably should avoid. So yeah, hopefully you guys can take this forward and choose your captain a bit more wisely, and I'll be trying to do the same. If you think we should be doing more videos like this around here, please let me know by clicking like and subscribing if you haven't subscribed already. There is some amazing videos coming up. I really hope you guys enjoy them. 8 simple rules. I've asked a lot of big managers to be a part of it, and I can't wait for you guys to hear them. But until then, I'll see you later. Bye!